So just before we crossed over back to Paraguay, we fulfilled a goal of ours that we had ever since we arrived in South America. Alright, wonderful guys to see you back. We are right now in our story. We just crossed the Amazon rainforest and we saw the Amazon River, and it was a wonderful sight. And now we are in Porto Velho. Now Porto Velho, you saw it in the last episode. It didn't really give us that typical jungle cruise vibe. I'm not sure if you've seen the movie, but I don't know what I expected, but for some reason, jungle cruise isn't it. So we were thinking, now we spent about 6 months in Brazil, and it was about time to go home. And where is home? Home is in Paraguay, because we got our Paraguayan residencies. And actually, I don't know if you remember from a previous episode, we still haven't picked up the actual cedula. Now, the thing is, in the last few months, we had this pickup of more and more people are interested in getting their own Paraguay residency. And there's clients who are in Paraguay right now who talk to me and who are interested in living their lives in Paraguay. So we thought, wouldn't it be great if we go back to Paraguay and start to live a regular life there for a while? Alright, so we decided to go back down south to Paraguay. First thing we did, we had our car washed and packed our minimalist luggage, put it in the car, and off we drove. Just for about the next day or so when we checked into the next hotel. Unfortunately, they had construction work at the hotel, so the car was dirty again right away. But that's it. That's what happens when you travel in South America. So the more south we got, the jungle changed, and then suddenly we were in agricultural land. Alexandra is a big fan of roses, and therefore she loves to see roses in what I see roads. The roads are not for the faint of heart, and one really good example for that is all the blown up tires that we see along the roads of our tour in Brazil. So another kind of sad thing that we see along the roads is that now and then there's fires. And these fires, we don't really know if they're made on purpose or if there's something that just starts burning randomly. And we see a lot of those, and then obviously also the landscapes of what happens after these fires. The next thing we encountered on the way down south is the Pantanal. The Pantanal is a huge area of an old ancient lake bed. So when we came close to the Pantanal, we stopped in the city of Caceres. It's like a smaller town, and Alexandra had her birthday during the time that we were there. So we kind of drove to this river beach, stopped there a little bit. Alexandra talked to some of her friends on her phone, and we just enjoyed the nice view. Hello everyone, so today we made it pretty close to the border of Bolivia. We're somewhere in the northwestern part of Brazil, and it has 37 degrees Celsius here, so it's like over 100 Fahrenheit. And yeah, people here take the opportunity and get a little bit of a bathe in the river. This is some of the outliers of the Paraguay River. We are actually having the Paraguay River in Asunción, the capital of Paraguay. Goes through that, and now we're all the way up here. And so the interesting thing about this place, and the reason why we're here, is because there used to be a huge lake here, and this lake just suddenly disappeared. And officially they say, it was just a swampland, and the people who did the cartography, they didn't know that it was actually just a swamp that had a lot of water. But now it has never been a lake. But we looked at some of it, and it's still full with lakes. And that's where they said the city of ElDorado might be. That's the golden city. But who knows? You can actually not drive there. The interesting part about that is that people live there maybe, we don't know, because on Google Maps you see a couple of ranches there where people have their own flying strip, right? You can fly in with your own Cessna, but you cannot drive there. So who knows who's there, and it's quite an interesting place for sure. All right, so we were on our way down south, further down south, and what we encountered there a lot were more German colonies. Just like we had it in Paraguay, there's these settlements. One of them was Santa Helena. What we found there was quite interesting. Like in front of a company, they had these two huge vases in front of that, and clearly they looked ancient. I wonder what you guys think about these vases and what they really are. What culture produced them, and where do you think they came from, and how did they suddenly appear in South America? Anyone who knows anything about that, write that in the comments. The further south we got, the closer we went to Paraguay, and the more we saw of the ParanaRiver and the reservoir that is created because of the electric power plant in that area. The reservoir is called Itaipu, and it's the Itaipu power plant that we have in this location. And it's one of those beautiful places because it turned into a natural resort. Beautiful trees everywhere, and later in our story you will actually see us renting a place for 1 month right next to that reservoir. Once we arrived in Foz de Iguazu, the whole infrastructure changed and we were back in a real city. Now, the interesting thing about Foz de Iguazu is it's right there next to Ciudad del Este. It connects Paraguay and it connects Brazil with a bridge. And while we were there, there was another bridge that they were just creating. By the time of this video coming out, this bridge must be already open for the public. So we wanted to see the Iguazu waterfall. The interesting fact about the Iguazu waterfalls is that they are right between 3 countries. So there's a side of Argentina and a side of Brazil. And then Paraguay, that was basically the owner of all this land before the big war about 100 years ago, has special access to the Iguazu Falls. So when you are a resident of Paraguay, you can actually use your residency card to just cross the border over to Brazil and go to the Iguazu waterfalls without having to stamp in and out of the country. You just cross the border and you arrive at the beautiful falls. Now, for those of you who actually know me a little bit better, about 2006, I went to the VictoriaFalls in Africa. And these were really fascinating experiences that I had there. Back then, I didn't quite pay entrance for the parks. I sneaked into the park of the waterfalls twice, once during the day and once at night. It was a bit of a risky business, but it worked out fine. But this time around, we actually went the normal route, paying the entrance fee, and it's well worth it. Check it out. Gecko, ¿cómo estás? Now, as you guys saw, the wildlife and the nature is spectacular there. We saw so many different interesting animals, and then obviously the view to the falls is incredible. If you want to see more about these falls, Alexandra actually has a very special video about our time at the waterfalls, and she used it to teach you a little bit of all of our languages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, and German. Check out her video here. So with this wonderful day continuing, we ask ourselves the big question. 6 months in Brazil, and now, which one do you like better, Brazil or Paraguay? Brazil. Brazil is beautiful. All right. With this day coming to an end, it was time for us to go back home. Another big border crossing. We checked out from Brazil and got another stamp and went back into Paraguay. So with these 6 months in Brazil coming to an end, we had some amazing stories to tell, but now it was time to be in Paraguay and to relax a little bit. We have this really cozy place with lots of privacy in Paraguay that we like to go to, and it just helps us to be kind of relaxed and to focus on new adventures. At this place we have a barbecue and a nice pool, and check out how wonderful it feels to be there. I get the feeling.
It's a little too rare.
Take 2. Yeah, for some reason it already is cut. Weird. Really cool green. I'm a big green fan. So this is perfect.
Was anderes Übles.
Now that we are in Paraguay, we were able to get our Cedula, which is our residency ID card. And with us getting the Cedula, we focused a little bit more on helping other people to get the residency in Paraguay, a Cedula, and be part of the Mercosur lifestyle. Mercosur is Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil and Uruguay, and many countries in South America. So if you're interested in also going this direction, go ahead and book a free coaching call with me. You can find the link for it in the description below. So you will see with season 3 there's a lot more expat meetings, coaching sessions, live in Paraguay and in other Mercosur countries. So I'm excited to show you this, and excited for you to see the next videos. So if you're interested in Paraguay, Brazil and other Mercosur countries, go ahead and subscribe here to this channel and then check out this video to see what's going on next.